Happy motherfucking St. Patrick's Day.
And go, brah.
And also, this is going to be Big Papa Bear's birthday episode because his motherfucking birthday is tomorrow. Happy birthday, brother.
Thank you. Thank you.
Big old 3-5.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just a number, by the way. It's just a number.
Do you feel any older?
Fucking back is killing me. I've been trying to stretch it out while we were waiting.
I hear you. What's up, Julie? So yeah, there's been a ton of shit that's happened since we went last Friday.
Yes. And one thing that I've got to say, it's been, a couple years in the making, but I made a promise and I made good on my promise. And I stated that if Justin Fields proved me wrong and he is a good quarterback, I would buy his jersey and I would support the man.
You did.
Folks, I did. I bought the man's jersey.
It's a good looking jersey.
Thank you.
Like
yeah.
it.
Yeah, but I'm a man of my word. I keep my promises.
Yeah, it looks good. It's a good looking jersey. Hey, I give it to you. I give it to you. So there's been a whole ass of shit that's fucking happened since last Friday when we went live.
That sounds like a very dirty cleanup. You said it, not me.
True that.
You're having that conversation with a plumber. Do you really want to get dirty?
Okay, fair enough. You got me there. So let's start with, obviously this whole show is part 2 of free agency, and there's just been so much shit that's happened.
We threw out the draft. We threw out the combine we were talking about. All of that went out the window because it's just been so chaotic.
It's been nuts.
Yeah.
It's been nuts. You've had the Aaron Rodgers shit show. You've got teams dropping players that you would have never in your fucking wildest imagination thought they were going to drop.
Right.
It's just been fucking nuts. You're seeing teams that are acting out of character, like the Patriots have been completely out of character on this free agency. Because normally the Patriots is one of those teams that you don't ever see them shoot shit during free agency. Nothing. They pick up a bunch of fucking no-name people and it's out the door. And then there's a lot of teams like that. You got teams that want to go out there and get the big names, and you got teams like the Patriots just try to ride underneath the radar. They did not do that this year, but we're going to get into that later on. So we're going to start with where we left off. Let's go with some of the bigger names that everybody's going to know of. And the first one I really see on the list is the release of Calais Campbell from the Ravens. I'm shocked. I'm absolutely shocked. I miss the guy. He was a Jaguar for years, and I fucking miss him. And I was completely distraught when the Jaguars got rid of him. And now he's been with Baltimore for several years, and they released him. What the fuck is Baltimore? What is Baltimore doing?
They don't know what the fuck they're doing. Everything's up in the air with the whole quarterback situation. And people are waiting to hear like spectacular news, because of Lamar Jackson. But with them doing the non-exclusive tag that they did, if he had an agent, then they could have been wheeling and dealing early. But because he is his own agent, he's negotiating his own contracts. He couldn't talk to anybody until after the initial first day of free agency, which was Wednesday at 4 p.m. So it's kind of funny. Like, they put all this on him. It's just like, all right, cool. This is what this is. Now it's all right. Who's going to be willing to wheel and deal to try to figure out a better option for him? And for them to release Campbell like that, it's a little surprising because the defense was pretty damn good, especially after they traded with the Bears. That defense changed dramatically.
Yeah, they got Roquan Smith, which I was upset with Chicago about getting rid of Roquan Smith. I was like, are you kidding me?
But you know what? I think we got some good linebackers this year and stuff, and we got some playmakers. Let's see how this plays out. It might have been a
Yeah.
shitty move then, but it might pay out.
All right, so now that we've seen the exit of Calais Campbell, where's he gonna fucking go? I mean, there's a lot of teams that could use him. I just don't. I mean, he could fit anywhere. It's really going to be a crapshoot as far as to where Calais Campbell goes.
We just have to wait.
I know Baltimore Ravens fans have got it. They had to have been shitting their pants when that fucking happened. Had to have.
Mm-hmm.
Had to have. All right, so the next one on the list, which other one you want? What do you want to go to next? Because there's a bunch. That same day, you got the signing of Derek Carr to the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah, it's there's a lot to talk about, so it's hard to say.
Right. So, with the signing of Derek Carr, are the Saints going to get any better?
I think they have potential. Only they had the fire rocket last year.
They did re-sign Michael Thomas, which was huge. That was huge. But is it going to be enough?
I think possibly he's a better quarterback and a better fit for him. So let's see if he can go there and actually ball. I'm not a fan of Andy Dalton. I've said that, the Red Rocket. Right. But, you know, the wide they've had Thomas was hurt, so the season was kind of iffy. You know, you've got some different issues going on with Kamara, but whatever. Right. We'll see how everything pans out again, because I think Derek Carr brings a little bit more consistency. He does have a good arm. He's level-headed. He can change this team around. Where Andy Dalton can't. You know, he was sometimes he'd crumble under pressure and just fucking showed it. Just not the thing. They did re-sign Jameis Winston though, so
I wasn't shocked by that.
No,
I was not shocked by that. I kind of figured that. I mean, Jameis Winston didn't do bad for him. He did all right. He damn near got him into the playoffs.
But once he got hurt, he lost his starting role, and then he had to fight back to get it.
Right. And now he ain't going to get it back because Derek Carr is going to be the fucking starter.
Oh, for what they're paying him and everything, hell yeah, he's definitely the starter.
Right. I mean that's just done deal. So I don't know. The Saints, we'll see. I mean, Derek Carr was on again, off again with the Raiders. He had a damn good team last year, which to me, there was no excuse to lose some of the games that they lost last year. Just none. You had fucking Devontae Adams. You had Josh Jacobs. You had this good defense. You had a great offense.
You had a different aspect, though. You had a different coach. So it's a change of everything. You know, is it going to be the same aspect? Jimmy G's going there now. Is he going to be the turning point? I don't know. Just something with Derek Carr and the different coach. Maybe not going hand in hand. The plays that were being called, maybe Carr didn't have control over them. And the outcome of the games was because of that. Right. I mean, we've seen Carr go out there and play. Carr's taking him to the playoffs. He gets hurt right before the playoffs. Their season's over. You know, without Derek Carr, the Raiders were shot.
Right.
And now we get to see the Raiders turn into a team without Derek Carr. It's been a while.
Okay. So the next one we're going to move on to, this one was actually really shocking to me, was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers trading Shaq Mason to the Texans.
Trying to get under the salary cap more.
I get that. I was actually shocked, and here's one I read today, that they actually offered Shaq Mason to the Titans. And they were trying to do a trade for Derrick Henry. And the Titans turned them down.
Yeah.
Why?
It's Shaq Mason. Henry.
Fucking Shaq Mason.
But you got a guard.
Shaq Mason's better.
You have a guard. You have like a running back that's been to the top of the boards for years.
Yeah, but they want rid of him. So what's the fucking matter?
But they're not going to just go ahead and trade away a guard for a running back at that stature.
Well, there was more to it.
No,
It wasn't
absolutely.
just Shaq Mason that they were offering.
I mean, in the return, the Buccaneers actually got 2 draft picks out of that. So, they have more potential now in the draft. But,
To me,
I'm not going to say.
I felt like the Buccaneers were dumb on that one and lost out. That's just my opinion. No.
No,
You're
I'm
not.
going to
You're
stick up
not
for
with
Derrick
me.
Henry. I'm with
Are you?
Derrick Henry. So,
Are you? Are you?
yeah.
Okay.
My Alabama boy, of course I'm going to stick with him.
I don't know. It would have been kind of cool seeing Derrick Henry in Tampa Bay with old Baker Mayfield, since they just signed him to a 1-year deal.
It'd be a lot cooler to see Derrick Henry in a Chicago Bears uniform and see him fucking rock and ball and
That's just
everything.
what you want, but you ain't gonna get that since y'all.
I got it in Madden, damn it. That works.
I guess. I guess it works. It'll work for you for now. For now. Okay. So the next one that kind of shocked me was the Commanders releasing McKissick. I did not see that coming.
There's a lot of what the hell and why moments in this free agency right here and why people are dropping who they are. But again, if they're coming to these players and asking them to take a pay cut or restructure their deal so they can drop under the salary cap more and more, create more salary, more space for it. And some of the players are saying no, or they know players aren't going to take a pay cut. So they're like, all right, we'll drop you. We'll save this much and go from there and then see where you can go somewhere else.
Right. I mean, I get that, but the Commanders are really in a point that they really couldn't afford dropping McKissick, or maybe they're planning on drafting a running back. I don't know.
Or there's different ones that are available that they might feel, compelled to jump after and maybe save a different profit.
I mean, the Commanders is going to be interesting enough because, I already seen today that the sale is going to happen because the owner cleaned out his office today. He's out. So obviously there's an impending sale. What's that going to do to the Commanders moving forward? Did that have something to do with it?
Possibly. I don't know.
Commanders
don't have their first pick is number 16. So I mean they lost their quarterback, and who do they got that's going to be there?
That's true. That is true because I mean they just did. Oh wait, we're that's later on in the show. That's later on the show. I was about to go into who they signed, but that's later on the fucking show. We'll get to that again. All right, we'll get to you again, Commanders. Fuck off. You're just gonna have to fucking wait. Sorry.
Don't get your skin too red.
I know. So McKissick gone. That's out there and done.
But they signed Jeremy, Revis, a safety. So they dropped one running back and picked up a safety.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. I mean, I don't even. It's laughable. It really is at this fucking point. It's just fucking retarded. All right, moving on to the next big one. And here's this one. I love this one. Rashad Penny leaving Seattle and going to Philadelphia. Now, if you remember back in the beginning of the season, Rashad Penny made a Twitter post, and I quote, "The Eagles are straight trash."
Mm-hmm.
How is it that life just comes back in full circle? You go on Twitter talking complete trash about the Eagles and call them trash, and the next year you're with fucking Philadelphia. I would love to see the conversations of him walking into the stadium for the first time. Because those players are going to be like, dude, fuck you.
Well, that's when I was playing on the other team. You got to give backlash back and forth. Now I'm over here. I mean, Look at it. Rex Ryan talked about being a fucking Jet fan and all of that. Even got a tattoo on his arm, and then went to go coach the Bills, and then basically got a Bills tattoo because he was there for life. And it's just like, come on, man. I mean, that's Rex Ryan for you, but his father was phenomenal for being a coach and one of the most brilliant minds for defenses. But you know, you got to have a day-to-day memory. Yeah, last year I played for a different team. Fuck you guys. Now I'm playing for this team, and you guys are great. That other team sucks.
And as of recently, he damn near went to the Broncos. Because if you remember correctly, there for a minute, he was a top possibility of being the defensive coordinator for Denver.
Yeah.
I don't know what panned out on that, but it was a possibility, and it damn near happened. I mean, I guess it still could happen because I don't know if they actually found a new defensive coordinator or not.
I will look it up because it's so much to keep up on here that I can't remember everything, sadly.
Oh, I know. It's absolutely there. Dude, there's been so much shit going on that's absolutely nuts. So the next thing we're going to get into is the Aaron Rodgers debacle. So Aaron Rodgers goes to New York and gives these motherfuckers a demand list. Not a wish list, a demand list.
Vance Joseph is the defensive coordinator.
Okay. So what if he doesn't get his demand? He got one of them.
Two of them.
No, Mercedes Lewis did not go.
He was in the talks of it.
They only got Alan Lazard as of right now.
Okay, well there was a report they were in talks with him, so that's why I was saying that he was at that point supposed to be locked in. But all right, my apologies.
Yeah, as of right now, it's only Alan Lazard that they got. His other picks were Randall Cobb, Mercedes Lewis, and Odell Beckham. Last I heard, Odell Beckham's trying to go back to the New York Giants.
Same stadium.
Oh, yeah, it is. Well, I don't know if that's going to count for Aaron Rodgers. I mean, he want Odell in the green. I mean, I don't blame Odell. I wouldn't want to go play for the fucking Jets, but
I saw a funny ass skit the other day, and it was talking. It's like, oh, hey, Rodgers, the trophies are up on the second floor, the ones that you helped us win. So we greatly appreciate it. But remember, this is Giants' home field. But it's like, that's fucking hysterical.
I don't really see them picking up Mercedes Lewis. I don't see them picking up Odell Beckham. Randall Cobb, maybe.
I mean, he's a good mentor. The guy doesn't have the same speed as he used to.
Right.
He doesn't have his quickness, but he's still got some good hands. He still can play, and he's going to be a great leader for you in the locker room, and especially teaching younger wide receivers. I mean, when the man retires, he could easily come in as a wide receiver coach like that.
Right. So real quick, we're going to talk about this for just a second. One of our awesome sponsors, Reaper Apparel. You can use the code Tailgate Kings and get you 10% off your order. And trust me, those shirts are badass. They're super fucking comfortable. I have one. I love it. I was going to wear it tonight, but it's in the laundry and it's being washed right now, so I couldn't wear it.
I've got a shirt. I haven't worn it yet. And then I bought the bracelet, and I've got one already sent here, and I got another one on the way. So the, broken, not defeated, that is something that I'm wearing and very proud of. So,
right. So y'all get on there, go to Reaper Apparel, check their stuff out, put in the code at checkout, Tailgate Kings, all capital letters, 10% off your order. Anyway, so on with the Aaron Rodgers debacle. I mean, okay, so say they get half. You think he's still going to go to New York? You think he's going to do it? Because he's not going back to Green Bay. They're not taking him back.
Right. So they're just trying to find it right now. Green Bay's holding the cards because they know they don't want him. And they're like, all right, if you want him, we got to figure out a better deal. So in the aspect of Rodgers, and I'm already done talking about this shit. is after he came out of his darkness the aspect, of 90% retiring, 10% was coming back. And then it's, oh, the decision's already been made. It's like, dude, you've had everybody fucking sitting here waiting. You're a prima donna. You're a fucking asshole. Fuck off.
Right.
And then it's just like, oh, yeah, so that decision's already been made. That was days ago. Why the fuck wasn't anything said of, hey, I'm doing this, and now the reports are supposed to be this? Now it's the Jets in Green Bay behind the scenes trying to figure out how they can make all this work, how much money Green Bay is going to eat, and go through all that, because the Jets know they don't want him back. So it's the same fucking scenario that we have already seen with Brett Favre. He
Right.
wanted to retire. He wanted to come back. And after the second time, they're like, no, we're going to give this kid named Aaron Rodgers a shot. And they, well, all right, we'll trade me. I still want to play. And they traded him off to the Jets. Now, at that time, I don't think the Jets was as high of a class. I mean, they have a pretty good team. So, I mean, they have a chance of doing something, but it's still going to be a hard fucking division to play against.
Right.
So I don't know. It's just, I'm tired of it. And I think he's wanting to play longer because he doesn't want to go on the same ballot as Tom Brady, because he's a
Right.
prima donna. He thinks he's the best, and Brady's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Right.
Where
I mean,
Aaron
no doubt,
Rodgers,
no doubt.
Aaron Rodgers possibly could, but do you go up against the GOAT? No. Go for
I
another
agree
year,
with that.
suck it
I
up,
agree
and
with
go.
that. Yeah, I wouldn't want to either. I would not want to. I don't really blame him, but at the same time, don't be a dick.
Well, that's fucking Aaron Rodgers for you. He's just a total dick.
This is true. This is true. So this next part is going to be absolute insanity because we're going to talk a little bit about the Raiders, but this Raiders is going to bleed into the Patriots because this is all, and some into the Giants. This has just been a huge debacle. So first you get Jacoby Myers.
Mm-hmm.
Goes with the Patriots. Wanted a longer term contract, wanted more money, and he, by all means, deserved it. He was the most stable wide receiver in New England. Okay. He gets dealt to the Raiders. They give him, well, he was a free agent, so he wasn't traded. He was a free agent. He signs with the Raiders 3 years, $33 million.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Patriots turn around and instead of showing loyalty to Jacoby, which I don't blame them on this. I don't. I'm sorry. I don't blame them on it. I would have done the same thing the Patriots did. They signed Juju Smith-Schuster to the exact same contract that they would not give to Jacoby Myers, where he did get it in Vegas. Jacoby Myers turns around, tweets out, "It's a cold world." ... He's pissed because I guess he didn't want to leave New England, but they weren't going to give him that contract. They turned around, gave him the contract he wanted to Juju Smith-Schuster, which I don't blame him. I mean, who would you rather have, Jacoby Myers or Juju Smith-Schuster?
Myers.
Fuck you. Why?
I don't see Juju as a true number one, my opinion. I think he's a number two, a wide receiver. And, he was good for the Steelers. And then he went to Kansas City, but he wasn't Tyreek Hill's.
He was in Kansas City.
He was, but he wasn't Tyreek Hill's replacement, though. He wasn't putting up the same numbers as that aspect.
Well,
so
nobody could put up the numbers of Tyreek Hill.
I get it.
Tyreek Hill's a fucking
I get it.
Football god.
I get it, but I'm saying I don't see him as a true number one. I see Myers as more of a true number one wide receiver. I saw a lot more potential out of that. That's fine. But, my opinion, when they signed Juju, I was like, all right, fine. Because people were talking, they're like, oh, Juju might go to the Bears. I was like, God, I hope not. Because then we'll have two number twos and then, a potential number two. I was like, no, we need a better wide receiver. So I was glad when I saw, sadly, the Patriots picked him up. But I was like, all right, well, they're giving him that. But is he going to produce as a true number one?
I think he can. He did in fucking Pittsburgh, and he did in Kansas City. It's just the only reason that his numbers lowered in Kansas City is Kansas City had so many goddamn weapons, and really their number one wide receiver is Travis Kelce.
Oh, absolutely.
So, I mean, when you're going up against Travis Kelce, and that's the type of offense you run, yeah, your numbers are going to dwindle. I mean, no doubt. But I definitely see Juju coming out with over 1,000 yards.
1,000 years.
yards. Yeah, 1,000 years. They're gonna have him for 1,000 years.
That's a hell of a contract.
I know. That's fucking beating out the GOAT. I think he'll do over 1,000 yards receiving next year easily, because he has no competition in New England. I mean, other than the signing of maybe Mike Gesicki, but it's Mike Gesicki. He's more of a blocker than he is. And now he's a good receiver. He did great for Miami. I am not trying to take away from Gesicki, but Gesicki is not no fucking, he's not no Rob Gronkowski. He's not no Travis Kelce. He's not a George Kittle.
No, you're absolutely right on that. But
he's a good blocking tight end. But cool. Juju's not going to have any kind of fucking competition.
Right. So they're going to double Juju, and you expect him to still get 1,000 yards?
Possibly.
So they're going to double him up every chance that they get. Who's the next in line that they're going to have to make sure he's covered?
Oh, I hope the hell they fucking goddamn draft a damn receiver in the first round to help Juju. Otherwise, they're fucked.
And their pick for the first round is what again?
14, I think.
Yeah, 14. Yet again, they like the 14 number.
Yeah, well, it is what it is. So in this whole thing, outside of that realm, you had, and for the fucking life of me, I don't understand why Vegas did this. To me, it was the dumbest shit on the fucking face of the planet. You couldn't have done dumber. Why the fuck are you going to send Darren Waller out? Why? One of your top number one weapons, and you send Darren Waller out. And
they trade him for just a 3rd round pick.
You could have got way more for Darren Waller.
Something's up.
He's a top 10 tight end.
But something's up. If you can trade him and you only get him a 3rd round pick for him, and you're not getting a 2nd or a 1st, all right, fine. Let's just say a 2nd round pick. That makes more sense.
He was worth at least a 2nd round pick.
At least. But in that part, I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, something. I know he's had some, addiction issues. He's got past that. He's been great. He did get hurt last season, but something's just not meshing. Maybe he's not, getting along with the new coach. Maybe he spoke his mind after the whole Derek Carr situation. And, that was his thing. It's like, all right, cool. We're going to get you out of here. So, and a basic fuck you would be, instead of getting a 2nd round pick, we're going to let you go for a low pick.
Well, I mean, he said he was, according to Darren Waller, he said he was completely blindsided by the whole thing and had no fucking clue.
It's that business,
I mean, it is. But I just don't understand it, because he was worth more than a 3rd round pick.
And everything I've heard about him, he's such a nice guy. My sister actually met him. Said he signed a jersey and everything. Hell, I have the jersey. So, it's sad to see him go. But in that, maybe he might have better production for the Giants and actually be more of a scarier force. The Giants are actually trying to retool and be something. So, yeah, they didn't get they signed their mediocre quarterback again. But
yeah, that. I don't understand that.
The market's crazy right now about quarterbacks.
True. All right, we're going to go into a quick commercial break, and we will be right back here in a second.
If you aren't perfect, if you've ever struggled, if you've ever failed, if you want to get better, be better, and make our world better, this is the perfect brand for you. True Victory. Founded by U.S. military veterans, True Victory is a sportswear and streetwear brand dedicated to building everyday champions on and off the field. We're a cause. Our purpose is to transform lives and elevate humanity through the power and unity of sports, positive stories, and serving others. We're dedicated to the game, the grind, and the globe. But most importantly, We're dedicated to you. That's what it means to be always true.
And you can go to truevictory.com, get you some badass swag, coupon code Tailgate Kings, all capital letters, 10% off your order. And I will tell you right now, that is the most
softest shirt. Softest.
It is the softest fucking shirt you will ever wear in your fucking life. I am not kidding. It is amazing. I bought 2 of them. I love them. That's my workout shirts. I absolutely in love with that brand. So truevictory.com. You can also find them on Facebook. So moving on, next is Stephon Gilmore to Dallas. I did not see that coming.
Now that was a completely off the wall thing.
I don't know what the fuck Dallas is doing. Well, I mean, Stephon Gilmore was huge because it gives them 2 badass corners. Because you got Diggs, and now you got Stephon Gilmore. Big ups on you. You're probably the second best in the NFL as far as cornerbacks go, with Miami taking first because they've got Jalen Ramsey and Xavier Howard. To me, those 2, that combination is better, but Dallas now probably has the second best when it comes to cornerback situation. Then you let Ezekiel Elliott go. Now, I'm not okay, so I'm shocked, but I'm not shocked because Tony Pollard was a complete fucking badass for them this year. He did outshine Ezekiel Elliott. I'll give you that. But still Ezekiel Elliott's still a badass. He's still good. What the fuck?
I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of Zeke.
Well, I know you're not. Nobody's a fan of anybody from Dallas. But you still got to give the man credit for being a damn good running back. He's still a good running back. He still put up good numbers last year. Why?
Because the fucking prima donna pain in the ass, and you got more production out of Pollard than you did Zeke.
Okay, I get that. But still.
You think about it, Zeke holding out the way he did, fuck Dak Prescott for his contract. So he forced the hand for them to give him a better contract. And then when it came time for Dak Prescott, it fucked him over because Zeke went ahead just to do whatever the fuck he wanted to and act like he's hot shit. And I've never been a fan of Zeke. I didn't like him when he played for Ohio State. I thought people made the mistake by drafting him as high as they did. And they were talking so much shit. They're like, oh, Derrick Henry wins the Heisman, but Zeke Elliott's the number 1 pick. It's just like, what the fuck? Well, the combine showed this. Well, I would rather have King Henry on my team any day. Not just because I'm a Bama fan, but the production and everything else. And I laughed. The last fucking play that Dallas had with Zeke was that terrible fucking play where he played center and hiked the ball and then just got fucking pushed over like he was nothing.
Compared to those defensive, he is nothing.
I just laughed my ass off. I replayed it quite a few times. If I'm having a bad day, I look that up on YouTube.
That has got to be one of the dumbest plays I've ever seen. And I've seen some dumb plays. Not the dumbest, but one of the dumbest. I will give you that. Okay. So, all right.
Like I say, on our commercial break, I filled up my glass and I was like, oh, yeah, I was going to show you how much fucking foam was there. And I'm like, wait, I dyed it green, so it's not even showing up on the camera.
Oh, yeah, it won't. So the next one, this was bad for the Bengals, good for Denver. They picked up Sam J. Perrine. I don't know what's happened to the Bengals because they are losing people fucking left and right. You got Sam J gone. Hayden Hurst gone.
They didn't release them. They just were free agents.
Well, I know, but
they weren't able to offer the same prices that a lot of the other teams are looking
Perrine, for. Okay, with the Bengals, you could have went without Perrine, but he's still a badass. but you didn't absolutely need him. Hayden Hurst, you needed. You fucked yourself on losing Hayden Hurst.
I agree with on that one, but there's also other good tight ends that's going to be available in the draft. They want to stay young, right? They want to go productive. They're trying to stay under a certain cap because they've got Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, and quite a few other players that are coming up on their rookie contracts. Their shit's almost over, so they got to get them under, a good deal. Burrow's already said he wants to structure this properly. He wants to keep Higgins. He wants that wide receiver core of Mark Chase, T. Higgins, and Tyler Boyd. So, those three he wants to keep together. So he's willing to give a fucking hometown discount just to have the squad that he's got. But Hayden Hurst saw, hey, I had great potential last year. I looked good and I was able to show more because I'm out of Baltimore. I'm no longer in somebody's shadow. And, they went for the payday instead of going in for another chance to play for a better season.
Right. And okay, I get that. So heading back to New York. Actually, no, let's talk about Carolina for a minute. Carolina has picked up Hayden Hurst.
Mm-hmm.
Badass. Big ups to you. Carolina has picked up a lot of other badasses. But what the fuck are you going to do at that number 1 pick? Are you really going to go with Andy Dalton as your starter? Please don't tell me you're going to go with Andy Dalton as your starter.
You're not going to throw your number 1 pick in there in the first game. You're not. So you're going to give them a few games. You're going to let the person go out there and start. And by game 6, 7-ish, we'll see how terrible Andy Dalton sucks. And then they'll throw him in there.
I would make them in fucking mini camp. I'd make them fight for the position and start whoever's fucking better. And I guarantee you it's going to be not Andy Dalton.
No, I'm in agreement there. I mean, it's been numerous teams that are the same way, but even with the Bears, they were throwing fucking Andy Dalton out there with Justin Fields. So once Andy Dalton was sucking it up and came to the point, they threw Justin Fields out there more. But, it's just how shit goes. Then they think, oh, well, we got a veteran quarterback in here that's got somewhat of a decent record. Yeah, never fucking won a playoff game. And, he sucked when he played for Dallas. He was all right. He sucked when he played for the Bengals. He sucked when he's playing for the Bears. Still hate that, by the way. And he's fucking sucked for the Saints. Let's see how much he's going to suck for Carolina. We just start wondering, okay, when are they going to take him out and when is the next QB going to come in? I'm saying right now, 6 to 7 games.
I think I'd go with that number 1 pick, starting him over Andy Dalton. Fuck Andy Dalton. Fuck Andy Dalton.
You're also using him as, a mentor in theory.
Okay, I think there's better. Be a mentor while the other one's starting.
I think there's better mentors out there.
Throw a set of headphones on him and let it roll. So, besides Hayden Hurst, they also picked up Miles Sanders. Mm-hmm. Well, they had to because they lost their badass running back, Donta Foreman, to y'all.
They weren't offering the same kind of thing. We only got him on a 1-year deal.
But still, going into Chicago, you've picked up Donta Foreman.
Mm-hmm. As the number 2 running back.
Now, you did lose Montgomery. That was a huge loss.
Still pissed about that. Thanks for reminding me.
That's what I'm here for, bro. I love you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here to rub the salt in your wounds and then be there for you for a beer afterwards.
Maybe we can have a milkshake instead.
I mean, you're drinking beer now. What the fuck?
But the milkshake brings the boys to the yard.
You shut up. No.
That's what I'm here for.
We're not doing that. You're not doing that. We are not doing this today. You've picked up Tremaine Edmonds, which was fucking huge. You picked up the linebacker from Philadelphia. Forgot his fucking name right now. Huge. You've got basically a Brian Urlacher and Who else was with Brian on that at that point? The other
you're
badass.
not doing that. You're not bringing up that. No,
Yes, I am.
No, there's not another Brian Urlacher. There was only one.
I don't care. I'm still bringing it up because it's going to be comparative.
I'm not giving the defense. Nope.
It's your damn team.
I know. I'm not giving you my Bears defense, and you're going to sit there and say that the Carolina Panthers have the equivalent of my Bears defense.
No, I said Chicago is.
Oh, okay.
You basically have Brian and the other guy all over again with Tremaine Edmonds and the guy from Philadelphia, which I can't remember his goddamn name right now.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that we were jumping from Carolina.
Yeah.
Now Fuck Carolina
Bears
again.
We're just Chicago now.
I can't keep up with your bullshit anymore.
I'm sorry. The more I drink, the faster I go. Keep up.
Wow.
That's how free agency has been. It's been boing, 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 boing the whole fucking time.
It has been. I was like, fuck, man, too. And the Bears have been quiet. Like, I've gone to bed and there was nothing. And then I wake up, there's 2 signings. Like, wait, what the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, we've been trying to do our best here at Tailgate Kings and Sports Kings Network to keep up and keep y'all informed. And we're still pretty much dead last in informing you, but we do the best we can.
So TJ Edwards, linebacker, we have that, and then we have that we got Edmonds from So those are the 2 linebackers that we signed.
Right. And those 2 are fucking beastly. But Edmonds was huge. When I seen y'all sign Edmonds, I was like, I just kind of smiled. I was like, my best friend is probably nutting in his pants at this fucking point over getting Edmonds.
Not like that. I did feel a little terrible though, because I mean, you give Edmonds a 4-year, $72 million deal, okay, with $50 million guaranteed, and then you give TJ Edwards a 3-year deal worth $19.5 million and $12 million guaranteed. Like, have some kind of little bit closeness, because TJ is great, but you have Edmonds is just fucking a way better linebacker. I get that. And you have them both locked up, one for 4 years, one for 3 years. So there's plenty of potential on this. And you're bringing back the monsters of Midway. And that's going to be the core. We still need some more help for defensive tackle. We still need a little bit more for defensive end. We did pick up DeMarcus Walker, which is not a bad choice, but we need more speed. We need more fucking just versatility.
So what do you see for your first round pick now? Because shit has completely changed for Chicago. And y'all, and I've literally heard every analyst, every sportscaster is saying that you guys were fucking brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
That getting rid of that first round pick because you didn't need a quarterback. I mean, there was a lot of speculation that you guys were talking about possibly getting Lamar Jackson and trading Justin Fields away, and there was all this different speculation. But no matter what, you guys had the upper hand in this.
Oh, we've always had it, and we knew it.
No matter what you did, you had the upper hand.
I mean, we had the potential to pick up Will Anderson with the number 1, which would have been phenomenal. And people were talking so much so and saying, now I can't even think of his name. The Georgia.
Oh, Jalen Carter.
Yeah,
right.
That they were talking about. He was the number 1 like prospect out of everything, and people were like, "Oh, don't pick up Will Anderson. Will Anderson will be available, but Jalen Carter will be gone." And I was like, "Okay, with us being a number 1, I don't see it." I saw a couple like picks back of okay, and I think the Cardinals are going to pick up Will Anderson, so he'll probably be gone on that one. But we were looking at, in speculation, Tyree Wilson from Texas Tech, which other teams are now fucking looking at, and that's going to be hard for us to see with number 9. And then we're also like Peter Skoronski, an offensive tackle out of Northwestern. So looking at fixing the offensive line or having yourself, the defensive end, those are the 2 that they're really looking at, and they've went to pro days and talked about. So those would be the 2 that I would say possibly for for the Bears for the number 9 pick. If they don't trade back, if they find more opportunity and trade back and pick up more, I think they might do that as well. There's still a lot left on the table. Free agency's been crazy. They've picked up a lot. We still need a lot of good help, but we're looking fucking huge difference. We're not going to have just 3-win season, hopefully next year. Well,
Right.
next season.
And then y'all also just picked up Robert Tonyan, which is going to be, you guys basically now have your own, maybe not to the caliber, but they're still fucking good together. It's basically like your own Rob Gronkowski and Aaron Hernandez back in the early Patriots days of early 2000s. Komet is a badass.
Komet is.
What anybody says, Komet is way better than what people give him credit for.
Right.
And now you've got Tonyan, who's just as fucking good. Why
But we
they
only got him on a 1-year deal, though.
Well, and that's fine, but that's probably a 1-year prove it or lose it deal.
Right. It's like, okay, you produced in Green Bay. You had this. Yeah, you've gotten hurt. Yeah, you did this. All right, let's see what you're going to do on a 1-year deal. And then say it might be a Hayden Hurst kind of scenario of, hey, it's this, but he is going to be the number 2 wide receiver in that aspect.
Right. Right. So I think right now you guys probably have the top receiving core out of the NFC.
Yeah. And
you've went from being the shittiest to possibly the best in 1 fucking year. But now we're going to see if you guys can actually pull it together and do it. And now this is also a chance of, okay, Justin, we gave you weapons. You now have weapons. You have a shit ton of weapons.
We're building up your offensive line better for you.
What can you do?
I want him to show up.
What can you do?
I mean, there's enough plays from last year that I watched with Mooney being healthy and when he wasn't out, and they had different stuff. He can still throw the ball down. He is a passer. He can be a rusher. He can be anything. He is a mobile quarterback for you. And a lot of people just don't give him enough credit. And there's enough highlights on YouTube you can go watch of some of these plays that he's done just by passing. And he's been quite accurate. Pardon me. But that's going to be a show me part. Hey, if this doesn't work out, people are thinking, okay, well, they've got an extra number 1 pick next season. So maybe they pick up a quarterback. Who the fuck's going to be available in the draft next year? We still got to look at all those scats, but fuck.
Right.
Hopefully we don't do that and have to look and rebuild it. Fuck. I'm tired of that shit.
So here's another hot topic. Jimmy Garoppolo going to the Raiders. The Raiders franchise tag Josh Jacobs. Smart.
Mm-hmm.
Because you would have been dumb as fuck if you would have let go the number 1 rusher in the NFL.
Oh, the Bears were all over that shit. If he would have been available, they would have signed.
Yeah, he would have been done. If they would not have put that franchise tag on him, it would have been game over. Josh Jacobs would have been a Chicago Bear. Guaranteed. They had the money, they had the power, and they were going to do it the minute it happened, but it didn't. So you were able to retain Josh for another year. You got Devontae Adams for another 4 years. Now, what I'm shocked about, I'm not shocked about Jimmy Garoppolo. To me, that was a good move as long as he could stay healthy. If he can stay healthy, you've got a good quarterback. If, and that's a big if, he could stay healthy. But
maybe he won't be knocked around so bad and playing for the Raiders. Who knows?
No, but here's where the downside goes. You let Jarrett Stidham walk. That was not a good idea. Jarrett Stidham was very good for you at the end of the year. You damn near beat the 49ers. Damn near. And the games that he played, he won. All but that one. That was a good backup that you let walk to Denver. I really think that giving up Jarrett Stidham for the Raiders was a very bad idea. Because now who the fuck do you have to back up Jimmy in case he gets hurt? Which we all know he's injury prone.
Still a lot of time on the board, but we'll see who they draft. Maybe they'll pick up Hoyer. Have him back up Jimmy G as always. You're like, oh, bless my heart. And the two of them back together. Back together. We could maybe talk Tom Brady come out of retirement, have the Tampa Bay trade him to us for just one game,
No,
and then we could have all three in the
the whole thing was that Brady was going to go to Miami. I see that shit everywhere.
No, he still has to be released by Tampa because of the fucking money that's on their cap and everything still.
Hey, it was all over the goddamn Facebook for like
there was a lot of shit you saw that was on Facebook too about they're going to trade Justin Fields, and I kept saying no.
I mean, that's what they were saying.
Just because they were saying it doesn't mean anything.
Well, I know that. I'm just saying the rumors. It's fun to go off of the rumors. If we didn't have rumors, what the hell else are we going to fucking talk about?
More educated experiences and players?
Yeah, but that's boring.
Yeah, but think about all this like Aaron Rodgers rumors bullshit. Like, it's been really fucking annoying to me. That's been boring.
Well, all that is actually happening, though.
I know, but that's really ridiculous.
It's just because you don't like Aaron Rodgers because he owned y'all for like a fucking decade.
I'm being nice here. I won't say it again.
I'm sorry.
If we get a copyright strike, it'll be my first one, and I'm fucking okay with that.
Okay. What are we gonna get a copyright strike for?
Just go on.
Oh, okay. What did you do? Oh God. Okay. All right. Anyways. So, do you think the Raiders are going to do any better with Jimmy Garoppolo?
I think they've got a chance. Maybe Jimmy G, because he does know the play style of all of that, could come out and, have a turnaround. Maybe he won't push back as much as Derek Carr will. So it just all depends
on... I mean, he's familiar with McDaniels from the New England days.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
yeah, so
maybe he doesn't have as much pushback. Maybe he's going to have more of an understanding and everything else.
Right. I mean, they just signed Philip Dorsett. So you've got Devontae Adams, you got Jacoby Myers, you got Philip Dorsett. Not a bad, and you still got Hunter Renfrow, who's like a fucking new age Edelman.
Chick brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like, it's better than yours.
Fucking disgusting.
Right. It's better than yours. I'll teach you.
What about Aaron Rodgers again?
None.
Sorry, folks. I had to do that.
I'm done.
And Julie, I apologize. I didn't say thank you for the happy birthday earlier. My apologies.
I'm done.
There's certain things you don't say to me, and that's just one of them.
I deserve that a little bit.
But what I was saying is, so he's used to the play style. He's used to the play calling of all that. So maybe it might be a good aspect for it. I mean, Jimmy G, like you said, healthy, he can play. And he really did a lot of great things for San Francisco. But again, people were just saying, was he going to be, elite enough and take them through the playoffs, which he did. He took them through the Super Bowl, but they did lose. So, is he going to be the answer for the Raiders? And I would like to say yes, but I just don't know.
I would say I'll say yes if he can stay healthy. It all rides on if he can keep from getting hurt.
I mean, you just lost another one of your targets. Fucking Waller's gone. So,
right. Well, and here's my scenario for that. The Buccaneers just let go of Cameron Brate. Go after Cameron Brate. because that's going to fix your tight end situation.
Maybe.
If you don't, you better fucking draft one. You got a good defense. Your defense is good. Your offense is good. But you've got a major hole at tight end with getting rid of Darren Waller. You got the running backs, you got the receivers, you got all the pieces, but you're missing that huge piece of a tight end. And in these days, tight ends are huge. That is a gigantic piece in the NFL.
It's weird how they were like they're something to be used, and then they kind of like they're there, but then they're forgot about, and then they come back again.
Back in the day, they were blockers, and then all of a sudden you had this wave of hybrid. Really, they're hybrid wide receivers, is really what they are, and that all started with like Rob Gronkowski, Aaron Hernandez, George Kittle, Travis Kelce. All these guys are just these hybrid wide receivers.
But we've had great tight ends throughout the years.
Yeah, but they always used them as more or less blockers than they actually did receive. I mean, they were really just red zone threats back then, and everything else was just blocking. But now you're seeing these goddamn receiver or tight ends making 70-yard fucking touchdown receptions. You didn't see that back in the day at all. They were just red zone threats. If you got close to the end zone, like back in the Troy Aikman days of the Dallas Cowboys with Daryl Johnston. Back then, all those tight ends, about the only time you see them actually receive was red zone. They're red zone threats because they were hard to cover. They're a big, giant target. But they were also kind of slow back then. But now you got these tight ends that are fucking keeping up with number one wide receivers. And it's absolutely insane. They're these big, beastly monsters that you can't even do anything with. You're going to get fucked up every damn time you go up against them. You gotta drop kick them in the kneecaps and take them down.
Think about this idea. Like Brian Urlacher was a wide receiver at Mexico.
Could you imagine if Brian Urlacher would have been a tight end?
Yeah. If he would have came into the now play, he would be a fucking monster. He was already a monster for the defense when they switched him.
I think he would take out Travis Kelce.
Oh, probably in a heartbeat.
Yeah. I mean,
seeing him play live and how fast he was and where he was on the field at all times, the dude could fucking move. And if you put him as a tight end, oh, dude, it'd be over.
It's just fucking nuts. It's just nuts. So with the last 30 seconds we have, we always do this. This is a tradition at Tailgate Kings. So we're going to do our preseason picks for the Super Bowl. And then we of course we always do it then mid-season, and then it is what it is once we go.
You should have told me that earlier. I would have actually had more of a fucking second to pull that up and predict.
Sorry. So AFC, I'm going to go with my Jacksonville Jaguars. NFC, I don't know, man. The NFC is just so absolutely fucking insane right now.
It's ridiculous.
I'm actually going to pick I can't pick between the two, but I'm going to put two top for NFC, and then I'll change my mind after preseason. When we do right before the season starts, we do this again. I'm going to go with a toss-up between... Okay, no, never mind. I'm going to do two NFC teams and two AFC teams. So the AFC teams I'm going to choose for top guns for the AFC is going to be Miami and Jacksonville. The two NFC teams, I'm going to go with Chicago. And I'm going to go with San Francisco.
San Francisco's a good choice. I would throw it in there just for a fan factor that I would say Chicago would be for my NFC. I mean, Detroit looks tough, but we'll see from there. Carolina's beefing up, but they're going to get a new quarterback. New Orleans could come out of the side, but I'll stick with the Chicago and San Francisco for the NFC side. I'm going to go with the Bengals, I mean, even with their offensive line health that they just picked up from the Kansas City offensive lineman, I would say they're going to be a major threat, and they're just getting better. And then Kansas City is just still a fucking team to look at. So honestly, I would say if it was my one pick for everything, I'd love to see the Bengals versus the Bears, but it's probably going to be the Bengals versus the 49ers.
I'm going for Jaguars and the Bears.
And
Could you imagine that shit?
You and me will be yelling at each other, and I would be making you throw up halfway through the game.
That's okay. I'll take it.
If that fucking happened, dude, that would be the craziest shit.
I'll take it.
Those odds would be ridiculous.
Could happen. So right before we end, go check out our other sponsor, Dubby Energy Drink. Go to Dubby, look them up on Facebook, put in our code sport or Tailgate Kings, all capital letters, 10% off your order, right? All of our sponsors, you can use that coupon code, get 10% off your order. On that, we are getting the fuck out of here. We will see you again next Friday. We love you guys. Later.
Bye.